Hey everybody, it's Koi, and Happy New Year's, I guess. So this is actually my first video that's going up on this channel that, that I've done in a while. So I actually have been really enjoying my break, and I've been enjoying not doing anything. I've pretty much just been playing Smash Ultimate and drawing pictures. And I was thinking back at my semester, and school can kind of be a little bit boring and stuff, so I decided it'd be really fun to draw all of my classes as if they were dating sim characters. So the first one that I'm drawing here, first of all, for anybody who doesn't know, I'm in an engineering course at McMaster University. So a lot of my courses are like maths and sciences and stuff, and they're all really hard, and for people who are smarter than me. So this first one is calculus, which is my math class, and it's really hard, and I decided to make it kind of like a snooty type character because calculus is kind of for like, it's kind of like some people always like to brag in engineering how like engineering is like harder than everybody else's stuff, and like everybody's smarter and stuff like that. So I kind of wanted this character to represent that because in my opinion calculus was the hardest class next to physics, but we'll get to him in a minute. Basically, I wanted to make a character that looks like he could be kind of saucy, who could be a little bit sassy, and kind of act a little bit better than everybody, but he was actually like a really nice guy and kind of funny to be around and whatnot. So here he is for the most part. I decided that his name is Calvin because Calvin and calculus, seems pretty similar. So he'd be kind of the snooty, like better than you type of character. So this next one is physics, and he's actually a lot more abstract. Like, I feel like it'd be kind of hard to tell immediately that this would be a class like based off of physics and stuff. But I decided to make physics kind of like a cool character because physics out of all of my classes is kind of the most fun and people liked it the most, like compared to calculus, which people generally thought was kind of hard. I mean, at least out of my friends, like not the people who were super smart, but most people really liked physics, and I did too. It was a lot of fun, and so I thought about making this character like the cool guy. He'd be super into parkour and whatnot, and motorbiking, which are all kind of like cool things, I guess. But I feel like that kind of related to physics in the sense that like physics is all about center of mass, and he's got to like maneuver his body and stuff for parkour, and for like motorbiking and stuff, that's all mechanics, which was that was my first year class. It was physics, mechanics, introduction to mechanics, and it was honestly so fun. I feel like this character, he'd be kind of like the best friend type of character, where like he'd kind of friend zone you almost, where he'd like kind of punch your arm a little too hard, or he'd like laugh really hard in your face and like have all these inside jokes and kind of tease you and stuff like that. And he's kind of like the cool character that like he's cool, but he's like not cool in kind of a cocky way. He's very friendly and stuff and very open with everybody. And I don't know, I feel like it definitely doesn't look like you'd never look at him and be like, that's physics. But I thought it was kind of a cool abstract way of looking at him and whatnot. And even though he kind of gave me a bit of trouble, I think he turned out really well. He's probably the one that I would go for, and I named him Patrick because my physics teacher in high school was actually named Patrick, and Patrick and physics kind of sound the same. So this third one is actually one that you probably haven't heard of unless you've taken a first year engineering course, and this is the class Engineering Profession and Practice. So I'm going to need to explain a little bit about this for you to understand this character design. So basically, Profession and Practice is this stupid class that we have to take that teaches you pretty much how to be an engineer, how to think like an engineer, and it's all about like kind of the businessy side, but not really. Basically, it's kind of a useless course, and nobody studied for the exam, and everyone got an A, which it was nice to have that. And we had to do this project where we had to build a prototype for an object that we invented to help somebody who had like a disability or who had a problem. We had to solve one of those problems, and that was a really cool project, and I wish that I could do it again with the knowledge that I learned from the experience. But the actual class taught like stupid business stuff, and there was actually a class that taught you how to properly shake hands. it was kind of obscure, but that's why I'm trying to like make it look like he's trying to shake hands with you, and you know, he's trying to be charming. So this character is kind of like the rich businessman guy who he's got a lot of charisma and stuff, but some people kind of think he's a little bit boring because he's a little too businessy. You know what I mean? So I think he was one of my favorite ones as far as how it turned out, appearance wise. But I think that it was a good idea for the class, and at first I thought about making him kind of like a boring character, but that's no fun for a dating sim, so I decided to make him kind of the charismatic, like, kind of ladies' man of the group. So there he is, and his name is Paris, because I feel like that's kind of an exotic rich person name, like, you know, businessman, and, you know, very charming. Okay, so this next character is going to be pretty obvious, I think, what kind of class this is going to represent. It's my 1DO4 class, which was pretty much engineering computation, or I guess what you could just call coding. So I kind of used a lot of stereotypes for this one, like this guy who's up till 3 a.m. every night, just on his computer, completely dead inside the next day, which is kind of the engineering life, to be honest. Pretty much everyone I know is just always tired and always staying up super late studying or finishing projects and stuff. So he's just, I kind of think of him as a guy that's, you know, he's not like the stereotype of people who do coding, but he's more or less the guy that, like, he's trying to get everything that he needs to get done, and he does, but he does it at the cost of sleep and eating, and he's just not doing so well, which is kind of like a lot of people that I know, to be honest. This class actually wasn't too bad, even though I didn't get the best mark in it. I was already experienced with coding going into university, so it was kind of okay for me, but people who have never taken coding before, it was really difficult for them. So, you know, this guy is kind of having a hard time, but he's doing okay, hopefully. Hopefully he'll be okay. But I did have to change a few things with him in the end. So his final name is Cody, because obviously that can be taken off from coding pretty easily. So this last one, I actually have a bit of a story behind it. So this one's actually going to be chemistry, and he's kind of going to be a little bit of a klutz boy, you know, dropping things, always mixing bad reactions, good reactions. He's kind of a bit of a wild card. But he would be, if this was a dating sim, he would be the unlockable character, or like the hardest character to get, because I actually dropped this class. Halfway through the year, I wasn't doing so well, and I had gotten a 50 on my first midterm, which wasn't the best, but the second midterm was coming up. I had just failed a lab, and I was not going to be able to pull it up without sacrificing my other courses as well. So I decided on the last day before you could drop it, like the very last day you could, pretty much, which was the same day as my second midterm. So it was either like I keep trying or I stop and just admit defeat. And I admitted defeat, and it was honestly one of the best decisions that I made throughout the year. Honestly, I tried to be prideful. I tried to be like, no, I can handle the 6 course load, like I can do this. But it honestly isn't worth it, and you gotta do what you can handle, even if it means admitting defeat sometimes. And it's not really defeat. Like, I passed my other courses. As far as I know, I'm actually waiting on one of them, but I'm pretty sure I passed it. And also, I guess I'll be taking it in the summer, so this one ended up being the hardest one. Everyone by the exam actually was like, man, I wish I dropped chemistry, everything would have been so much better. And this one's final name is Cameron, because, I don't know, it's a C name, starts with chemistry, and he's kind of the klutzy friendly guy. So here they are all together, and I really hope you guys liked this video. I would love if you guys liked or commented or subscribed or shared or anything like that. If you want to see more of this stuff, I would really like to make more videos where I turn more characters into dating sims, even though it's a lot of drawing and a lot of time to sit down and create these characters, but it was a lot of fun, and I would really like to be able to do more. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.